guys, welcome back to my channel. So as y'all can tell by the title, today I'm going to do my chapter 7 review on my novel 100 Heartbeats. I'm very excited because I actually planned this video out a little bit better. I highlighted the parts that I am going to be reading to you guys, so that way the video can be not too long and easier and faster for me to record. But yes, I just literally got done closing out another video that I will be uploading before this video. Before I start, like always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be subscribed to our channel, and click on that little bell button right beside it so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, I'm just gonna show you guys what I have written for this chapter, and this chapter is actually what in the world? It won't go. Oh, dummy me. This chapter is done, and it is edited as well, so it is complete. And what I have highlighted is what I'm going to read to you guys. So yeah, and it's like maybe 4 or 5 pages up. So that's the end. If you saw my video on chapter 6 review, it ended to where they had finished off their date, and he took her back home, and she went, they said their goodbyes, she went inside, and next thing you know, a man grabs her and tells her this: "Hello, little Vi, long time no see." A very familiar voice ringed in my ears as he spoke. So that is the end of chapter 6. So I'm going to go ahead and read the first paragraph of chapter 7. His words came out slowly and evil at the same time. I knew by the sound of his voice it was my dad's old friend that used to sexually abuse me when I was a little girl. I started wondering how he had gotten in and how long he had been here. Was he watching me since this morning? I asked myself. But either way, there was no way I was going to get away from him this time. It was a nightmare in real life all over again. Okay, so basically what just happens here is that she notices that, well, she realizes that by the voice of this man, she knows that it is one of her dad's old friend that used to sexually abuse her when she was a little girl. And for that reason is what her parents got a divorce, because her mom, when she found out, what was going on with her daughter, she said that was enough and filed for divorce. So that is the reason why her parents got divorced, other than them fighting all the time and her dad having drinking problems. So that is what happens. So let me go ahead and read another paragraph. And this is the man talking to her. Okay. Now, little Vi, don't you try to slip away, because it's not going to happen. I've been watching you and your damn dad ever since I got out of jail a few months ago. I even watched you this morning when the 2 cops came knocking on your door. He let out a loud, evil laugh, and I could smell the alcohol and cigarette in his mouth. It sounded like he was answering the questions I had asked myself just a few seconds ago. So I don't know if on chapter 6 I read the part where before she goes on her date with Eric, 2 cops are going around her neighborhood asking if they have seen anything odd or someone that is not usually there in that neighborhood, because there was a man that was he had robbed a gas station and a bank, and it happens to be the same man. So he was in jail for several years after her mom filed charges on this man for what he had done to her daughter. So he was in jail for 7 years, and he just got out a few months ago. So yes, and he broke into her aunt's house, and she lives with her aunt, and decided to catch her when she was home alone because her aunt is in a business trip. So yes, let me go ahead and read another sentence. Okay, so before I read another small paragraph, so basically what happens here is that she tries to pull away from him, but obviously he's a man, he's stronger than her. so she doesn't have any luck, but her purse is still hanging on her shoulder. So what she does is she pulls out her pepper spray that she always carries with her and sprays his eyes, and that's, he lets her go, and he's very upset now. So when he lets her go to rub his eyes, that's when she starts running towards her back door. But the man catches up to her and drops her on the floor, and some of the items fell from her purse, and her cell phone had landed near her. So she gets the phone, and the first person she thinks to call is Eric, and he literally just left her house a few moments ago. And since he was the first person in her caller ID, she calls him, puts it on speaker, and this is her talking right now. Eric, help! Please help me! I cried out loud. So she's on the phone with him. I felt the man's body getting on top of me, and I knew I needed to hurry and do something before he hurt me or killed me. Vi, what's wrong? He asked, sounding like he was choking on his words. Help me, Eric, I yelled out again desperately. I couldn't explain everything to him at that moment, but hopefully he had gotten the point that I needed help and fast. So I wrote a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and skip that and get to another paragraph. So after that, he tells her that he's going to call the police and, just to hang on tight. So they hang up, and then this is what the man does to her. He hit me again and turned me over so I could face him. So the man was on top of her, and he turned her over so she could face him. I screamed again and started hitting him as hard as I could to get him away from my face. Next thing I heard were police sirens coming towards us. Okay, so I wrote a little bit more. Let's get that. So this is another paragraph. I got up quickly. So after the man hears the sirens, he obviously wants to run away because he doesn't want to be caught. But he threatens her and tells her, I'm going to be back to look for you and your dad. So after he leaves, this is what happens. I got up quickly, and to my surprise, I was still able to run with how bad my legs were shaking. I flew the front door open and started making my way down the porch steps as fast as I could until I felt someone grab me again. There was no way he had came back for me, I thought to myself. I was too scared to see who it was, so I kept my eyes closed, and it didn't help that it was dark outside. The only thing I thought to do was to fight back as hard as I could and scream even louder. I started hitting him and screaming, trying to get away. Let me go! Stop! Get off me! I said, crying and swinging my hands towards him. Now let me go down a little bit more. Okay, swinging my hands towards him. Vi, it's me, Eric. No, let me go. Though I heard Eric's voice, I couldn't stop hitting him because of how scared I had been. Vi, it's okay. It's me, Eric. I'm here now. Everything is going to be okay. He softly put my hands down and pulled my body towards him, giving me the warmest hug I had ever felt before. So Eric gets to her house before the cops do, and a few seconds later, while Eric is trying to calm her down, the cops get there, and they go in her house, and but obviously he is gone. The man is gone, so they don't catch him. But the officer tells her that he broke a window from her kitchen, that she should get that fixed, and that he actually dropped his gun in her kitchen, and that they want a statement from her on Monday morning. Since that day is Saturday night, obviously they can't do nothing at that moment, and then the next day would be Sunday. So since it's Sunday the next day, they prefer her to do her statement on Monday morning. So she agrees to that, and so little and also another thing is that the cop asks her if she has a clue of who that man was, and she does tell him that it was the same man that had been robbing all these places. But since Eric is there and she doesn't want and since she doesn't want him to know about her parents' family or her past, she obviously doesn't, especially not that what she went through with that man. She leaves out the part to where he had been already in jail because of because he was sexually abusing her. So she leaves that part off and decides to tell the cops everything on Monday morning, obviously when Eric is not there. So yes, and I'm gonna go ahead and read this short sentence as well. One by one, they left in their cars with the ambulance following behind them. The neighbors were beginning to go back into their homes, and the only ones left outside were me and Eric. He walked me up to the front door. So by this point, Eric tells Vi that he prefers to stay with her tonight, just to make sure she is okay. So, and she deep down she does want Eric to stay with her because she's very scared of after all that happened to her. So this is what happens next. I didn't know if Eric staying was a good idea, but I had to admit I was so scared to stay alone again, and his presence made me feel better and safer. I doubt he had bad intentions in staying anyways. So she does tell him that it is fine, he can stay, because deep down she does want him to stay. So he ends up staying. He ends up staying with her. So I'm gonna skip some parts here and go almost to the end of this chapter. What happens here is that Vi is actually having a flashback to when her mom was sick in the hospital. So her mom, she lays beside her mom in her hospital bed, and this was a few hours before her death. And this was also 3 years ago, because Vi-Lin is 18 now, and her mom died when she was 15. So when she lays beside her mom, she puts her she rests her head on her mom's chest, and she begins to hear her heartbeat. So this is the meaning why my novel is called 100 Heartbeats. And she begins to hear her mom's heartbeat, and she tells her mom, oh, I just heard your heartbeat, it sounds so beautiful, and I can't believe that this is the first and probably the last times that I will hear your heartbeat, because her mom is very sick from cancer. And this is what her mom tells her. Well, no, actually, this is what Vi says to her mom. Okay. I wish I could have heard yours more often. I said, trying hard not to cry. And this is her mom talking now. That's when you found the love of your life. I lifted my head up and sat a little straighter and turned to face her. How, Mama? When you hear, and then this is the mom. When you hear his heartbeat 100 times. How do you know that's the reason he's the love of your life? I asked. Because, okay, and this is the meaning right here. Because every heartbeat was important enough for you to count until you actually get to 100. I've never thought of it like that. And then this is the mom explaining to her. But see, you can't plan it. You just listen to it when the moment is right. One day, when you're really scared or sad, and all you want to do is hug him, I know you will get so close to him that you'll be able to hear his heartbeat, and that's when you start counting. And only if you see it important to do so. You might not count 100 at that moment, but if he's really the love of your life, another time like that will come, and when it does, you'll start counting again. And from that moment on, and then this is Vi thinking to herself, and from that moment on, that phrase got stuck to me, because every heartbeat was important enough for you to count. So the reason why Vi had this flashback is because when her and Eric go in her house, they both of them sit down in the living room sofa, and she kind of just leans her head against his chest because she's scared, and she's tired after everything that happened. And she begins to hear his heartbeat. So she has a flashback when she was in the hospital with her mom, and her mom, like I said, was sick with cancer. And since she heard Eric's heartbeat at that moment, she just remembered what her mom told her a few hours before her death. So that's the reason why she remembered that. So let me read the last paragraph of chapter 7. So this is back to the present day, and this is Eric talking to Vi. So remember, they're both sitting in the couch and she leans against his chest. Violin. I heard Eric's sweet, soft voice call my name. I could barely get one word out of my mouth because of how sleepy I was. What is it? I said slowly, keeping my eyes closed. You're falling asleep on my chest, and although I don't mind, I don't want you to think I'm taking advantage of this moment. No, not at all. I just want you to stay with me tonight so I can listen, I said, yawning. Listen to what? Your heartbeat, I said as I started dozing off. And the moment was here. I started counting in my head as I heard every beat from Eric's heart. The end. Okay, so that is the end of chapter 7. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and I didn't talk too much. Hopefully this video is not too long, and that's another reason why I was trying to also talk kind of fast, because I don't want, since this video is literally of just me talking, I don't want to make this video long and boring for you guys, because I really do want you guys to actually get into this novel and like it as much as I do. But yes guys, that is the end of this video. Like I said, I will try to do chapter 8 very, very soon. But in the meantime, do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be subscribed to my channel, and click on that little bell button right beside it so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. See you guys on my next video. Bye!